All right, guys, we are back of day 2 of making a faceless type beat channel right here on YouTube that we build out into a greater business. Now, this video is, I'm going to show you stuff that nobody shows you guys on YouTube because they don't even know how to create this type of stuff. This is stuff that top marketers create. So what I'm going to show you is literally the back end of your business. This is what everybody fails to do, and that's why their beat sales are not consistent. Their traffic is not consistent. They don't have a machine that works for them. My ultimate goal for this type beat channel is to automate it using AI. It doesn't mean use AI to make the product, but it means I might build a team who produces for the channel because I can't devote all my time to this channel. So how do you step away from the channel and have it still grow? So that's what we're going to cover today. Okay, so firstly, the first thing we need to do, which I covered in the last video, we need to make social media accounts on each platform. So here I have GameKingC secured for TikTok. For Threads, it's GameKingC official. X is GameKingC_ because somebody took the username, and Instagram is GameKingC official. Okay, so in that case, I couldn't get GameKingC for each social media platform, but the main thing and the most important thing is to make sure you have the domain name, which we do have, GameKingC.com. Everything else, I would recommend you guys try to search usernames before you commit to a journey, because if you have to change your username dramatically from platform to platform, your branding becomes inconsistent and very hard to track. Also, too, I'll show you guys how to create your own profile. So in ChatGPT, I'm on the paid version currently, but I believe they have this for the free version as long as you create an account. Let's upload an image from our computer here. All right, so here's a picture of me in a suit that we took in ATL. So I'm going to upload this to ChatGPT. Now we have to give this a prompt in order to have ChatGPT do what we like. So let's say make me into a Yu-Gi-Oh character. And then I want a purple and pink gradient background. It should only take but like 2 minutes or so. So our whole goal in building this online faceless business is that we want to automate as much time as possible. So anything that is not like super creative or like super product based, I should say, like as far as the actual beat, I want to automate every other task. So anything outside of making beats, we're going to automate that. Even if I have to gather a team to make the beats. Okay, so this is how you have to think as a business as opposed to just somebody throwing up stuff on YouTube. So we're in ManyChat right now. ManyChat is the secret tool of marketers, and I'm going to show you guys how to collect emails on ManyChat. So again, the first thing you're going to need is Google Sheets. This is where we're going to collect data from the actual user. That data would be their first name and their email. Okay, so this is a pretty simple thing to gather. It's kind of like a party analogy. If you go to a party, the first thing you don't do is just try to sleep with girls just on the dance floor. It's stupid. So when I was in college, my only goal for going to a party was to get the girl's number. You're building up the list of people to communicate with. After you communicate, then you ask them on dates. So your number one goal should just be to collect people's first names and their emails, because your only intention in the beginning of a business relationship is to add value, nothing else. You're building trust, nothing else. In the beginning, everybody tries to load up a YouTube video, sell people straight to their BeatStars, and that's why you guys aren't seeing the results you want. You're not building business relationships. You're just building a transactionary thing. Okay, so one thing I forgot to say with the ChatGPT is you want to load up a reference image, very important to get the styling right. Okay, so if you just say Yu-Gi-Oh character, it probably won't give you the right type of style. So that's what I forgot to mention in the Yu-Gi-Oh character. So let's say make me into a Yu-Gi-Oh character, because this will be my theme for and my branding style for the art for this faceless channel is Yu-Gi-Oh, because that's where GameKingC came from. Make me into a Yu-Gi-Oh character, purple background. We're just going to limit it to purple background so it's not so creative. Very important you give it reference images, or else it will just kind of do its own style, which is not always the greatest style. Okay. So as that's working, let me show you guys how to create these automations on ManyChat. So ManyChat, basically, again, if you comment the word FL on my BusyWorks Beats Instagram, it sends you a free course. Okay. So basically you can have this do stuff for you on your behalf to save a ton of time. Let's keep this extremely, extremely simple. First thing we're going to do is separate stuff into folders. We want an Instagram folder and we want a Facebook folder, because these are the current integrations that we have. Now in the settings, okay, if you click here where it says settings, you can add TikTok. This is currently not for America, so this does not work just yet, because if you click connect, it won't work unless you're in a certain country. So I'm not in that country, whatever country that is. But when this is a TikTok approved, this is going to be a monster of a platform. Okay, so we have Instagram connected. Okay, so you connect your Instagram channel here. There's WhatsApp. I don't use WhatsApp, but you could use that to integrate AI conversations, which I may do depending on how far in the rabbit hole we go with this. And then you have Facebook Messenger, which you can connect here. I don't have that connected just yet. I just set up the Facebook. I don't even know if I have a Facebook thing on here. It was hard to set up Facebook. So we're going to avoid the Messenger for now. And yeah, so that's where you set it up. Okay, so nextly, we want to go to where it says integrations in the settings, and we're going to activate the Google Sheets integration in a second. Okay, with all that being said, we're in ManyChat. We're on the automation tab. We have two folders called Facebook and Instagram. Currently, we're not on Facebook, so we're just click inside the Instagram folder. We're going to click where it says new automation. We're going to start from scratch. So here is how we build out steps of events. Okay, so a trigger is something you'll see in email marketing as well as this ManyChat sequencing. So let's click here where it says trigger, and we want to stay under the Instagram triggers. And I want anytime somebody comments on my post, we're going to click all posts. This only works when you have a paid pro account, which I bought for $15 a month. There is a free trial, so you guys can try this even if you don't commit to the actual service. And we want the keyword to be something about beats. Okay, so in this case, if they want a free beat, the word will be beat or beats. Okay. You can also use emojis here, but I recommend you guys just use keywords because emojis, people tend to get, if there's other emojis that look like the emoji, they'll use that one. And then you have to figure out other emojis. People just kind of go crazy. So we're going to use beat and beats. Okay. So anytime somebody comments on my post or my reel, they will be sent something. We have to tell Instagram to send them something. Okay. So let's click continue. We're going to hit no for the auto reply. And that's all we need to do. Now let's click another trigger here, and we're going to say user replies to story. Okay, all my stories, I'm referring to every single story. Let's click here, go to reply contains specific words, and those words are beat or beats in this case. Okay, and then we're not going to react. We're just going to hit save. Now you can add delays so that it seems more human, but I recommend you guys do this immediate because people are used to this type of marketing. It's not seen as advertising. Nextly, we're going to click another trigger here. We're going to click on where it says, we're going to skip where it says user sends a message. I found that when you do this from the messages, it just becomes a jumbled up mess. Okay, so I recommend you guys don't use this because we have other ways to communicate. Nextly, we're going to click user comments on your live stream, and then that word is going to be beat or beats. So anytime they do this on Game King C Official, it will do something. So we have to tell it what to do. So these are the actions that people can commit, and we're saying, what do we want Instagram to do? So it automatically has this thing over here. We're going to click here. Now, if it doesn't, let's say I delete this, you can click this then node and then drag it, and we're going to tell it what to click next. So we want to stay on the Instagram platform in this case. So let's click where it says Instagram. Very important here to follow the meta rules. And for those who are skeptical about ManyChat, let me pull up the partner page. Okay, so now the AI is more popular. Chatbot is not such a foreign term, but before AI was popular, I didn't really trust chatbots. It was a very hard thing to trust ManyChat. So here is the official meta page. It says partner ManyChat. Okay, so this is literally, they partnered with Facebook, so they approve of this service. Okay, just to give you guys more confidence, because for a long time, it was hard for me to understand chatbots. I was kind of scared that they would risk my account or something. Okay, so nextly, we're going to go back to ManyChat here. And the next thing after somebody comments beat or beats, we're going to tell it to do something. So again, if I delete this node, we're going to insert another module here. And we want to send it as a comment reply. The within 24-hour window is a meta rule, which is only meta specific. To not bore you guys to tears, you need to set this as comment reply all the time. I'd recommend this all the time. Okay, because it allows you to do more stuff down the line. So we want to keep this really, really simple. We'll say thank you. And then I'll say, here's your free beat that I promised, or whatever the free thing is. In this case, we'll just say beat as a placeholder word. We can always go back to change or make other automations, okay, with other keywords. And then we want to insert an emoji, and let's do the pointing down emoji. Okay, and then we're going to click where it says add button. Okay, and then we're going to open up a website. Now this website is going to be the download for the free download that we're offering. Okay, so free download, and then we'll go to the website. Now here's where you need your Google Drive. So go to Google Drive, make a folder called YouTube Beats or whatever your free stuff that you give away is. In this case, let's go to Drive. Let's make a new folder that says free download. So it's very clear what the intent is here. Okay, and then we'll put the project files in here. I'll put my templates in here. Now the YouTube Beats are not necessarily free. So let's just go in here and let's figure out what I want to do. So let's put all these YouTube Beats in the free downloads. Boom. So now what I have to do is click the drop down for free downloads, go to share, copy the link. Now also you want to go to where it says share and click share and click here to give people permission. General access to switch this to anyone with the link. Because if you don't do that, it will show up. Let me just show you guys what that would look like. Let's say you have it on restricted and you send the link out to somebody without, they don't have your Google account. It would look like this. And then they have to log in and it basically says, do you have permission? And people have to ask for permission and it's really janky. So just click here, go to anyone with the link for your free stuff. Do not do this for your entire Google Drive. Okay, be careful. Hit copy link. And then we're going to go to ManyChat, paste the link right here. So now they have access to the entire catalog. So it doesn't really matter. You're sending them to the entire free catalog. You're not worried about sending them to a specific folder. I'd recommend you guys do this to keep everything simple because you might change out your free download folders over time. So just send them to a general free download folder. Hit done. Now that's about all you really need to do. Now, if you guys want to get more complex and you want to create what are called email captures, this might be a smart thing for you to do. So we're going to send this as a comment reply, but then we could send other steps in the sequence. All right, so what I'm going to show you guys is an alternative route. So let's click this node here, drag it over here to create a step. Let's go to Instagram. And here we wanted to do a different thing. So we can have data collection, but again, this has to be within the 24-hour window. So the way I kind of made this easier to understand is that 24-hour window, when this says send within 24-hour window, that gives you access to all these tools down here. Okay, if you do it within as a comment reply, you do not have all those tools. Okay, so the question is, how do you activate the tools without doing a 24-hour window response? Long story short, you can't send 24-hour window responses if somebody comments. That's the issue that we're having right now. All right, guys, and just to make it abundantly clear, the difference between what's called that comment reply and a 24-hour window is that, again, Facebook allows us to or Meta, I should say, allows us to message people in a 24-hour window after they message us or interact with us. So it's a rule that they've created. Long story short, if somebody comments and they didn't opt in, I'll say, by commenting us or messaging us, then we're basically not following within their rules. So here you'll see, I just have it set to just send them a message that says test. It says send within 24 hours. That's the difference between this one that says send as a comment reply. You will only see an error if you try to set live. It says mark this message as a comment reply if you want to send it as a reply to a post or a real comment. So in other words, you have to have the comment reply trigger first before it goes to a 24-hour window. Okay, so be very aware of that. So you can't collect emails unless you get to this point, but you can't get to this point unless you have a comment reply. So the question is, how do you get people to enter this 24-hour window thing where we could do a bunch of cool stuff? So here's where you have to decide which path you want people to go on. Do you want a simple path where you just send them a download, or do you want to collect their email? So in this case, we want to collect their email because we're using Flowdesk, which is under free trial currently, and we have Google Sheets, which is free, and we have ManyChat on a free trial. So we want to get the most out of the free trial for now. So let's set this up to where we can trigger this type of sequence, but it leads people down this sequence. That sounds more complicated than what it is. Okay, so let's delete this. So what I recommend you guys do is click, your first trigger box, go to then, click Instagram. We're going to send as a comment reply, and I'll say thank you. You want to acknowledge their actions here. Click, what I say, here's your free beat as promised. And then we want to point down. Now here we're going to click a button, okay, that leads to the next step. Okay, so this is the critical point here. Normally what we did before, we opened a website and it went straight to our download page. But again, we want to collect their email before they get to the download page. Very important. So instead of the open website button that we did before, we're going to click it where it says Instagram. Now this Instagram is going to send them another message. So think of this, to simplify this, because this looks and feels complicated. Anytime somebody comments the word beat or beats on our Instagram, outside of just DMing us directly without a story reply, but a straight just DM that says beat or beats, then they're sent this next message automatically. And it says, thank you, here's your free beat. Now we can label this that says, click here. And maybe like a little cool emoji, something very simple. Where's the cool one? Just type in cool. Okay. You want to use emojis to make it friendly. Fashion Nova does it in their emails. So it says, thank you, here's your free beat as promised. Okay. So when we click this button, remember we chose Instagram. We don't want to go to a different website yet. So we're going to hit done. Now, all this is doing is creating the opt-in, the I approve of you messaging me. Okay, so that's basically what this is doing is an opt-in button. Now, it doesn't say that on the screen, but that's basically what they're doing, is giving you permission to message them within the next 24-hour window. So this is where we bring in the next step, which is our 24-hour window response. Okay, we're not sending as a comment reply. And now we have access to all these tools down here, which is very important. So the first thing we want to do is give them what they came here for, which is the actual beat. And I'll say your free beats are below. And then we'll point down again and click here. Now this can be open website. Let's go back to our Google page, Google Drive, click here. Make sure when you go to share, you give them permission with anyone with the link. Very important, copy a link. Let's go back to ManyChat, paste that URL. In the system, we can mark different things with tags, but for now, we're not going to mark that with the tag. But you could mark it with tags, but it's in day 3 and day 4, I'll show you guys like how this works over time. Okay, so here it's going to say free beats. Okay, maybe add some drums so they know it's a beat. Boom, simple as that. Click done. So now we can continue the conversation. Okay, it doesn't have to stop at just them clicking a link and then ending. So we can continue the conversation. Now, what I recommend you guys do is add a smart delay. So let's add a delay. Let's assume that they actually click the link to go to the Google Drive. We want to give them time to search through the beats. If you want to be fast about it, you could send this right away, but I recommend a delay because, again, you're assuming that they're about to go to the thing that you promised them. Okay, so give them like, I'd say probably 50 seconds, 60 seconds might be simpler. This isn't a hard rule. You just have to assume. Okay, so I think I went over the limit there. Let's do a 30-second delay. What does it say? The time cannot be the final element. Okay, so it's just giving us a warning that this can't be the last thing. Okay, I thought that was saying we went over a time limit. So let's use 60 seconds as a delay. Just to keep reiterating over this, I want to make this extremely simple. Also up here, we're going to title this where it says untitled. We're going to put IG and then the keyword. Okay, so beat. So that lets you know what this is doing when you get back to the main page. Okay, so here the trigger is that anytime somebody comments the word beat or beats, okay, or they reply to your story, then we're going to send them this message. This message is an opt-in message, meaning they have to click here in order to approve of you messaging them over time in the next 24-hour window in this case. So this is an opt-in. So this is like basically just a button that they click on. Okay, thank you. Here's your free beat as promised. They click here and that opens up another message, which they get immediately. Now this time, this is sent within the first 24 hours. Again, Meta's rules is that it says Meta allows you to communicate with the contact within 24 hours of their last interaction. Okay, so so basically we have to opt in first, then we can message them the same way you would with an email address. You don't just send emails to people. You have to have them opt in with a form. That's basically what a form does. Okay, so here we have the chain of events. So the first chain of event, you have to assume you are the customer. So if I got a message that says, hey, here's your free beats, I'm going to click on it and go to the website. So give them time to actually go to the website. Now, after 30, or in this case, 60 seconds, we're going to send them another thing. So in this case, I'll say data collection, because now we want to collect their email. So I'll say, I have a secret stash of beats, loops, and melodies. If you want access to these, just send me your email. You want to be as cordial as possible. You want to be as colloquial as possible. Okay, so that's the message they will see in 60 seconds. We're going to test this. The only thing is my phone is my webcam. I keep forgetting that. But we'll log in. I'll try to log in on a different Instagram account. Hopefully it doesn't cause too much error. But anyhow, I have a secret stash of beats, loops, and melodies. If you want access to these, just send me your email. Now, what we're going to click here where it says contacts reply. And we want them to reply with what's called an email. Now, this email information we're going to stash inside of Google Drive. So in this case, the email, let me pause the video. All right, so the screen, again, looks way more complicated than what it is. Just to keep reiterating so that you guys understand how simple of a flow this is, anytime somebody comments the word beat or beats, okay, or replies to my story, it sends them a message. This message, the only purpose for this is to get them to click so that they approve of me messaging them. It's basically an opt-in. After they click that button, they go to this chain of events and they see, hey, here's your free beats as promised. Actually, let me reword this. I'll say, here are your free beats as promised. That sounds a little more like real than just what I had before, even though I said the same thing before. Okay, so free beats. Okay, boom. Now this has, okay, I don't want to bore you guys to tears though. Okay, so this is a 24-hour window, meaning we could send them as much information as possible in the next 24 hours. So you can make this as convoluted as you want. But the point is, we're sending them the actual download to the Google Drive. Okay, we're going to wait 1 minute and we're going to ask them, hey, I have a secret stash of beats, loops, and melodies. If you want access to these, just send me your email. So at this point, we're collecting emails. Now in the system, it verifies if they're sending you email information. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that specific tedium. So we're going to click here and select email. We're going to save this to the email in the system field, save it, set as an email opt-in. This is for the ManyChat systems. You don't have to worry about that. And then here we have perform actions. So this is the important thing. We want this data to be used elsewhere. So now we're telling ManyChat to send the data elsewhere. So we're going to click here, and data meaning their email or their first name in this case. So let me make sure I'm clicking the right button. So after they enter their email, we have an action. Let's click here and tell it to do an action. That action will be here, and we have to click unlock more actions here. And we can go to where it says Google Sheets. Now this is only for paid plans. So if you want to follow this step, it's for the paid plans only. I think because we're on free trial, you guys should have access to all this. So again, you're not going to see anything about Gmail if you click any of these tabs, or Google Sheets, I should say. Okay, so you're going to have to click where it says unlock more actions. Now from here, we'll send you to the settings page where we connect other accounts. You can, in short, you can connect APIs from ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek for more automated messaging. Klaviyo, if you guys use that email autoresponder. ActiveCampaign, if you use that email service provider. MailChimp, HubSpot. I don't recommend any of these because they are way, way, way too expensive for you guys. I really hate that they charge as much as they charge. It's probably one of the biggest scams online is email companies, because they charge you every time you get a new email address, which is insane. So let's say you have 1,000 emails. When you get 10,000, they'll charge you like $200 more a month, which is insane and unsustainable. So in this case, do not sign up for these unless you just are a master and you just know how to super ninja master. Okay. I do not recommend any of these companies. They overcharge so much. Even ActiveCampaign, I used to talk about this one a lot, super overcharged. Klaviyo overcharged, because we're going to use Flowdesk, which is one set fee. No matter how big your email list is, they charge you $35 a month, no matter how big it is. Because why are they? I can get a whole diatribe. These other ones, though, if you grow your email list to a certain level, they'll hit you with another $200 a month and another $200 a month. And all you're doing is collecting emails. It's not like you're running a bunch of API calls. So they're just overtaxing you, basically. Anyhow, so if you go to the settings, we're going to go to where it says connect Google Sheets account. This is important because this is where we're going to store the data. And again, what we're trying to do in ManyChat is have a conversation with the person, and then they send us their email, and we send the email outside of ManyChat. So that's what we're doing right now. Again, we're going to click inside the second message, click where it says contacts reply. Make sure you go to where it says actions and then perform an action, or you could just left click here and just drag, go to actions, click where it says action, and you won't see Google Sheets listed anywhere here. even under contact data. So we have to go to where it says unlock more actions. Now from this point, we need to connect our Google Sheets. So let's go here, and this is going to ask you to log into your Google account. And we're just going to give it access to whatever it needs to do. Hit allow. So now we have this as a component that we can use in our automations. Okay, the same thing with ChatGPT, etc. You can use these in your components. Now, how does this work? Let's go back to the automation. Now we see Google Sheets listed as one of the tabs here under the Actions tab. So let's go to Google Sheets. And what do we want to do with this data? We're going to insert a row. So send ManyChat data to Google Sheets. We don't want to get a row value because we're not pulling from data. We're not pulling from a table, and we're not updating a row because we don't care about people who send in new information. Okay, so we want to insert a row. And now we have to select a spreadsheet. Now it's going to say select your spreadsheet, but if you don't have any, it's going to be a problem. So let's go to Google Sheets here. We're going to create a blank spreadsheet, and all we want is the first name, email, and maybe phone. Okay. If you guys want to get particular, and let's give this a name. Let's call this Instagram. Let's call this ManyChat Instagram data store. I don't know. Call it whatever you want, really. Okay, now this should pop up in our ManyChat. So let's go back, cancel this, click inside the action again, insert row. We should have that now populated in the drop down right here. So boom. Okay, now it's going to say which worksheet, which is a worksheet is which tab down here. So this is sheet 1 by default. You can rename this like contacts if you wanted to, just so you understand the difference. If I add the plus button, we have sheet 2. So that's what it's saying, sheet 1 and sheet 2. That's what those are. Okay, so let's go over here. Now I'm going to refresh this just so it has the proper names that we just did. So boom, boom. It's going to say which sheet. Okay, I'll just say the contact sheet. And then it reads the columns of your Google spreadsheet. So what we want to do is at this specific step, we're collecting the email. So we have to go to where it says ManyChat data, click here and select email, because that will go into the email column of our Google Sheet. Okay, so that's all we have currently is the email. So here, click here, go to email, and then click save. All right, so let's go back into the conversation window again, just to keep showing you guys how simple this is. They comment the word beat or beats. They get a message, and inside there's a button that says click here. Once they click here, then we send them this automated sequence of messages. So inside this automated sequence of messages, they can access that Google Drive with the free downloads right away. The system waits 1 minute, and then it says, it basically asks the people for their email address. Okay, now from there, they enter their email address. And when they enter their email address, it completes what's called an action. That action in this case is to insert a row into a Google Sheets database with the data that they just gave us, which was their email. So basically, we're just transferring the message over to Google Sheets for that specific reply. Okay, now we can add another reply. So let's add a delay of like 3 seconds, because you got to give them time to write their email. Or actually, this waits for them to reply, I should say. So actually, we don't need a delay here. Nextly, we can collect more data. In this case, let's collect the data. And then we have to word this like a real human and be like, oh, sorry, I didn't get your first name. What's your first name? Okay, and then click contact reply. We're going to go here to where it says the drop down. We're going to go to where it says first name. And we're going to perform this action. We're going to take another action here. Click the plus button. And after you guys have that Google Sheets integration that I showed you how to set up, you click here, you insert row, select your spreadsheet of choice. And then now we're going to select the information, in this case, the first name. We're going to send that to the first name column. Okay, so the first name is going to go to the first name column. Boom. We're going to go back. And we could ask for mobile at this point, but I think mobile marketing is really for advanced people. So unless, I would recommend, if you guys are collecting this information, I'd say you have to create another free thing. Like I'll give you a free Discord invite if you send us your mobile, something like that. Okay. So let's go to data collection again. Now, again, this won't send them a bunch of messages right away. They have to reply in order for these to trigger. So there is a delay technically. And then lastly, we could say, if you want to join, and this is where I'm going to send my Discord invite, over 118,000 music producers and artists. I can send you the Discord link, and then and I'll say, just send me your best mobile phone. Okay, so click here where it says contacts reply. Click the drop down. Let's go to phone this time. And then again, you could use the ManyChat systems. You don't have to worry about all this. This is just for ManyChat stuff. We're going to perform action. Click action. And then here we're going to do the same exact thing. Insert the row to the spreadsheet, contacts. And then we're going to insert phone here under phone. So that's why we have these basic tags, they're called, so that we can easily transfer that data over to Google Sheets. So now it's on the phone. Now at this point, I think we've messaged the person enough. So if you do have other free stuff, you could deliver it over the DM. I just recommend kind of just stopping the sequence at this point. You don't want to overly message on Instagram for this use case. So in this case, we're going to set this live. Now we should get 0 errors. And now we have to test these triggers. So now I have to log into a separate Instagram account in order to test these triggers. All right, so just for demonstration purposes, I've logged into a separate account here to test out these triggers because we want to make sure that the user is getting the experience that we actually assume. So here we are going to search up Game King C Official on Instagram. We're going to click here. Now the problem is I don't have any posts or any live streams or any stories to reply to. So what I'm going to do temporarily is go back to our sequence, and we need to add a trigger here. And we're going to say user sends a message, because this can be done without any content. Detect specific word. Now this is only temporary. This is not what I would recommend you guys set up. This is only because I don't have anything posted yet. So we're going to say if the message contains beat or beats, and then we're going to trigger this sequence of events. All right, so now we're going to make sure this says live so that it's published. And now if I go back to those folders that I showed you guys in the automation here, I go to my Instagram folder, and then I see this thing that says IG, meaning Instagram, and then the keyword that triggers everything. Okay, so then we can always go in to edit that later. Okay, so let's go back to Instagram here, and I'm on this page from the network account, and we want to send a message here. And we're going to send the message with the word beat in this case. So let's turn off the notifications, and let's say, hey, I want your free beats. Just something that has the word beat or beats in it. Now we're going to send this. Now it should automatically send us a message. All right, so here it says, thank you, here's your free beat. So what step is this in our sequence? Following the sequence, user does something, in this case, sends a message or a comment, and then we get this message, thank you, here's your free beat as promised, and that's exactly what we see here. And it gives them a button. Okay, they're going to click this button, and it's going to refresh the chat. I assume so. I've never done this on desktop, so it might look janky. So I might have to log out and do this on mobile. Looks like desktop is a little tricky. Let's refresh this a couple times just to make sure. Yeah, so I think it's because we're on desktop, it's acting weird. But basically from this point, I'm going to see if we have to edit anything. So let's see. So anytime something acts weird, let's see why. Okay, so we sent as a comment reply, boom. And then the next step was to move them to the next sequence. So we should get another message. Nothing seems broken here. So I'm gonna have to pause the video and load up the mobile. All right, so I lost the webcam because we're using my phone as a virtual screen here. So I should be able to click this. I've never used this feature before, but click here. Okay, so as you guys can see, updates on the screen. So again, this click here was just the opt-in to allow us to message the actual user. And now we're going to click where it says free beats, and it should pull up the Google Drive link that we gave them. And again, you want to give them 60 seconds to browse through. They're like, oh, I got access to project files, templates, YouTube beats. Let me check inside the YouTube beats folder. Here's some type beats. And let's say they see their favorite artist. Let's say Yeat. And then there's like, well, there's 2 Yeat beats. So let's go to number 2. And then here's the Wave. Now, I don't know if they could preview Wave, but I believe if we click here, we have a download button that they could download straight to their phone. Now, for this purpose, we're not going to do it from the phone. Let's see if it actually plays the Wave. I don't think it will, though. Okay, so I don't know if it plays from here or whatever, but you guys can insert MP3s. Okay, so it did load. Okay, I guess not. Oh, it did. Okay. Let me see if you guys can hear this. All right, you guys can't hear the audio, but it's definitely playing audio right now. All right, so it's playing audio, and then as you guys saw, it just popped up with a message on the screen. So now they're like, oh, I'm missing a message. So they X out of here. They could always go back to the free beats by clicking this button. So it says, I have a free stash of beats. Okay, just send me your email. So let's send them an email here. Let's do info@busyworksbeats.com. All right, and hit send. Now remember, the system waits for them to reply. Then it says, oh, sorry, I didn't get your first name. What's your first name? And then we'll say my first name. And then it should automatically send our third message, which says, if you want to join over 118,000 music producers and artists, I can send you the Discord link. Just send me your best mobile phone. In this case, we're just going to put a fake number. In this case, 1-800-9999. I don't know. We're just going to put some fake number. Okay. Now, what I forgot to do, which I'm glad we did this exercise, I forgot to actually give them the deliverable to the Discord. So that's what we have to go edit right now. So let me pause the video and bring back the webcam. All right, so everything works, and I just found an error that I made. So we need to go back to ManyChat and go inside of our messenger here. And after they reply with the phone, we need to add another text here that says, here's the Discord. And then we just give them a link. Or actually, I'll put, here's the Discord, and then we'll use the point down emoji. It's better that I found, instead of putting links in text form, add a button, okay, that opens up a website. It's a lot cleaner. Okay, so let's add Discord, and then maybe an emoji, like a robot or something. Not a robot, but like a game type of emoji. And then we'll say open website, and then we'll put in the link here. So again, anytime you guys want to add links, try adding buttons as opposed to putting links in text form. And then we're going to put done. Okay, so this will pop up at the end of that chain. Okay, and I also need to edit this chain to remove the messengers, because that was just a test thing. So we're going to turn this off. So anytime you want to turn off a specific trigger, you click here and then click this little switch at the bottom left. Now it will disable anybody who sends a message that has the word beat or beats, because it can get convoluted over time if you have the message trigger. So I'd recommend you guys to stay away from the message trigger. I forgot to go back to the Chat GPT. I told it to make me into a Yu-Gi-Oh character with a purple background. So I did a pretty good job here. And again, you can give a different reference images, but that one is the best reference image, I think, for this style. Okay, and then boom, it gave me an actual Yu-Gi-Oh card, Dark Magician. Pretty cool. Just download that. And now you guys have a digital avatar just like that. Okay, so the system works. Everything works in ManyChat. And now we need to double check to make sure that the data was sent over to Google Sheets. So let's click inside Google Sheets. Now this is janky here. So it looks like it collected the information, but it put each line as, okay, I know what we did wrong here. So what I did wrong was basically for the first trigger, let's go back here. So here's our error. It's considering each step new data. Okay, so we need to go back to ManyChat. And for these actions here, I believe we can select multiple rows. Okay, so here's where I messed up. So long story short, go back to the first action. And we also need to test this once more. So let's go back to the first action. Let's go to here where it says first name. Make sure we collect the first name, because now it's going to compile the data into one contact as opposed to 3 different lines like this. So that's where I messed up. I'm glad we did that live here. Let's click on here and make sure we select phone. So now any of this information from this contact will be sent to that specific line item. And it should do that for each step. Okay, so I found the error. This is not the most efficient way. I'm sure somebody who's a master at ManyChat knows a better way. But for the form flow of asking them questions, I think this way works the most simplest that I could think of. But this could be optimized. Long story short, for each action, we have to make sure that we insert the row here. And we have to make sure that we map the first name data, the email, and the phone per each action. So every time you click on an action, go in, change the settings here, and make sure those all line up. So that basically every time it collects one of these rows, like the first name, it should attribute it to one of these columns. So that was the step I missed earlier. Sorry about that confusion, guys. Let's run this one more time. So here I'm assuming that I'm a customer here. Just send your email. So let's do info busyworksbeats.com. So again, the current error is that, okay, here we go. And now we have all the information on one line. Boom, just like that. So that was my mistake from earlier, guys. So that's a very important step because your data will be scattered if you don't do that step. So I'm glad we caught that during the testing. Okay, so now all the data is on one line, okay? And so let's just continue. And then my first name is Carlin. And then the number we gave was a 1-800 number. And what was it, 9999? And then it should give us the Discord invite after this. Okay, and it says click here. And it says, before you continue, please send your email so we can contact you later. Now that I did not, what is that from? Oh, you know what? I was testing. I'm glad we did this because I would have never caught that. My bad. I was testing off the screen. I forgot to take that off. So let's delete that. This is why testing is so important. You find all the flaws in the system. So the last message should technically just read the Discord button. And this should lead us to a Discord invite. And then boom, we got the Discord invite to the BusyWorks Beats server. So everything works as proper. And so what I'm trying to show you guys is you don't need a website. You don't even need to pay an email service provider just yet. We are building an email list from Instagram without any web page. It's a simple conversation. And so that's the magic, because now you can make content. And if people comment the word beat or whatever the keyword is, you can give them something for free. And after you give them something for free, you could build up your email list where you build trust and you could sell stuff over time. And you're doing that all within Instagram. So they don't even have to go to a website. That's the power of this system. Okay. So if you guys follow step by step, this is the system that you can create for yourself. And again, we can, now as I enter the data, here's the flaw of the system so far, is that because of the workflow I've created, each data point will be inserted 3 times. So that's the only flaw to the system. So if anybody knows any better, please let us know, or just make a video about that on how to collect all 3 data points without populating the list 3 times. So this is a minor drawback, okay, to the system, but I'd say that it's very well worth it, because now you can go to File, you could download this as a CSV, okay, and then this is what we're going to feed into Flowdesk. So let's go to Flowdesk here. We're going to go to where it says Audience. We're going to hit Add Subscriber. We're going to upload a CSV. And then we're going to find that CSV file on our computer, click upload, and then it's in our downloads right here. It only has 3 contacts. Now here it says we need to do the same thing we did with ManyChat. It's just asking us, it sees this on the Google Sheet, the first name column, it sees the email column, it sees the phone column, and it needs to know what to do with this information. So we're going to map this, it's called. So for the first name, we want that to be in the first name metadata. Luckily with Flowdesk, they don't have a gazillion things to choose from. It's pretty simple. Okay. So the first name, you choose first name. For the email column, you're going to select email. And for the phone here, they don't have a phone data point, which I don't know why, but we're just going to click continue. But you guys still have that raw CSV file in Google in the chance that you ever want to build up your text list with a different company. Hit continue. And then we're going to create a new segment, and we'll just call this Instagram contacts. And we want to give it a color. I think Instagram is like a purple. So let's give it like a fuchsia color. Hit continue. It's very important to segment your lists inside of your email service providers. Okay, very important. You want to know where people came from. So now if we go to audience segments, we now have, it should say 1. I don't know why it doesn't say 1, because we technically have. So again, I'm not sure why it doesn't read the contact here. It's kind of weird. This might be a glitch. Who knows? It might be because it's at a website. I'm not sure why it reads 0, but we definitely have, let's just add the individual. I'm not sure why it's not picking up that information. beat.com, first name. Okay, so it should look like this. Again, I'm not sure why it just was glitching. Maybe it takes time to read through. But as you guys can see, it tagged it with the Instagram contacts segment tag. You can give multiple people multiple tags so that you only email specific people about specific things. Very important that you tag your people. That's how simple it is. Okay, so again, the system, basically the goal is you make content. You say, hey, comment the word beat or beats. In this case, we're just saying beat. It's going to send them a message. That message is going to trigger more messages. And these other messages collect their name, their email, and their phone number after you deliver your free stuff. And then here it also sends them an invite to Discord. You're doing all of this inside of a DM, automated to where you do not have to do this every single step by yourself. Okay. Now, once you do this, you will build up what's called a contact list. Very important, because I was paying $100 something a month for ManyChat because I just was ignorant of this. So if you go to contacts, make sure that you do this about every week or every 3 days or every day. So we're going to click here, select all. We are going to do bulk actions, and we're going to export what's called the PSIDs. These are for Facebook ads if you guys ever use them. For now, we're just going to store them in our Google Drive somewhere. Okay. Let's go back to Google Drive real quick. And okay, so we have this sheet. Let's create a folder called customer database. And this is where we're going to store all of our stuff. So let me see how we can categorize this customer database. Let's do this by type. So let's do PSIDs, create a folder for that. Let's create a folder for email lists. And I guess that's all you really need, but if you had a separate text SMS list, then you would do that there. And maybe a customer list for Shopify, if we ever use Shopify, or when we get to Shopify. We're not there yet, just future proofing here. Okay, so now we're going to go inside of PSIDs, and we're going to find that file, that CSV file, and drag it inside of, now I forgot which one it was. Was it this one? Let me see which one came first. Yeah, subscribers. So it's called subscribers. We're going to drag it inside of this PSIDs folder. I would recommend you guys rename stuff. Okay, so let's rename this. Call it the date. So 2/25, April 16th, and then say what it is. It's ManyChat PSIDs. So that everything is date labeled. Okay, go back to your customer database, go to where it says email lists, and now we're going to drop in our Google Sheet information here. So let's go back to Google Drive. You always want to back up your stuff all the time, because the cool thing about email lists that you can't do on social media, you can't take your Facebook following and move it over to Twitter. You can't take your YouTube following and move it over to Instagram. Okay, but email subscribers, you can move it. It's yours. You can actually move it from platform to platform. That's the difference here. 2/25, April 16th. And then we're going to say what it is. This is our, I'll just say ManyChat Instagram contacts. So now we know what it is. It has a date on it, so I could sort later in the future and figure out, the latest, most updated file when I have multiple files like that. So those are the steps so far. Again, nobody is going to teach you this because they either don't know what it is, they don't know how to teach it, or they don't want to teach you this stuff. This is the stuff that helps you scale your business from a simple $100 a day up to $500 or $1,000 a day, especially when you have ads. This is the stuff that scales it up. You cannot physically do any of this work. Okay, so that's why you have to create systems that do the work for you. I think we've created everything we needed to out of ManyChat. So next thing we need to focus on is, we did everything we needed out of ManyChat. I'd recommend you guys keep your emails clear, unsubscribe from people. So this person keeps sending me emails. We're going to go ahead and save them some money by unsubscribing. Okay, keep in mind anybody sending you emails from MailChimp is being charged for that. So you don't want to think of it as a way to save them money. Okay, so I'm unsubscribing from all these because I had people send me beats and then they added me to their email list, which I never opted into, by the way. Okay, but it doesn't matter. So let's go here, boom, 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 and keep your email as clean as possible. So anytime you read an email, just archive it, get it out the way. Okay, organization is your only thing that you need to measure. Okay, in the beginning. You need to be extremely organized, but nobody teaches you how to be organized. And that's why I have this video for you guys. So all these emails, pretty much basic, archive them. Boom. Keep it clear. I don't want to see any emails in this email thing. Okay. Now, when I show you guys how to implement AI, this will be even more clear than what it is. Okay, so we did the ManyChat. Let me follow my list here. I showed you guys how to use ChatGPT to create a profile picture. I showed you guys how to create ManyChat automations to where you could build up an email list for free, at least on free trial using ManyChat. And nextly, we need to cover what's called customer support. So there's a website called Freshdesk. They offer a 14-day free trial. Now, depending on how complicated it is to set this up, we may save this for a different video, only because we haven't gotten our domain name email just yet. So basically, anytime somebody emails me info@busyworksbeats.com, it sends them to this program called Freshdesk. And I'd recommend this because it's free. You guys could actually use this for free. You don't need the paid versions of it. It doesn't really add much more stuff that you'd actually use. So Freshdesk is completely free. And basically we want to connect our email. Now this is the part where we don't have a, our info at GameKingC.com. So let's see if we can sign in with our Gmail currently. Let's just see. Okay. So we're going to click here. So we're going to use a Gmail account in this case, but again, remember, I'd recommend you guys have the info at website.com. Not just your Gmail. But for now, we can load up our Gmail. Pretty simple, not complicated at all. That was actually faster than I expected. Okay. And I think, let me see here. We could do a new support email. And this is where you guys can get into, I think it's custom, if I'm not mistaken. It says manage all your email transactions through other private servers. There's instructions somewhere about how to set up your email to be rerouted to Freshdesk. Or you know what, I think it was, never mind, I know what it was. I set up a filter. So where basically in Gmail, so let me show you guys. Let's say you do have your info at whatever your website is.com. I believe I clicked here under settings or somewhere. I forget how to get there. I forget how to get there every time. Let me pause this video if I take too much time on this step here. Okay, I figured out where it was. So if you guys go to your Gmail inbox, and again, this works for Gmail and your website stuff. So just go here to where it says settings. I have so much information to give you guys. Hold on one sec. Okay, so it's called Google Workspace. You guys can actually buy your info at whatever your website is.com from Google. I'd recommend Google because it's just simple. Okay, this is where you get your custom email address. Okay, the info at thing. Okay, this is where you would buy it. Right here. But for now, we're just going to use a simple Gmail. But when you guys start broadcasting to thousands of people, having a Gmail will actually get you rate limited, and you might get your account flagged for too many outgoing and inbound emails. So basically, you want to make sure if you do start getting volume, start to invest in a custom email address. And that is through Google Workshop. Okay, so again, one of those future-proofing things I recommend you guys do. Let's go back to Gmail, click where it says settings, then go to see all settings. And if you guys do have your info at whatever your website is, you could do what's called forwarding. Okay, so the forward address, you're going to go inside of, our admin settings in this case. So let's go to settings and let's see where that tab was. If I had to go from scratch, go to settings. Where would that even be? Let me pause it to find the exact. Oh, here it is. Email. Okay, so go to settings, go to email, and then copy this email address here. This is your actual, this is what Freshdesk is reading from. Just hit copy. Go inside of Google. We're going to add a filter, a forwarding address, and then we're going to paste that in. So basically, anytime email comes to the Beats for Busy, in this case, it's going to be sent over to the Freshdesk. And I will test this by sending myself an email. So, okay, I have to open up the Gmail app, so I have to use my phone. So give me a second, guys. All right, so now this message pops up. It says forwarding email to whatever. Let's hit proceed to give it permission here. And then it says a confirmation link was sent to the Beats for Busy Freshdesk. So now we need to go back to Freshdesk and check our tickets tab, which is this tab over here. And then we have our confirmation email. So now the email is being sent to the Beats for Busy at Gmail and now being sent to Freshdesk. And basically anytime you get a notification email, you just hit close And I'd recommend you guys, my head might be in the way, but I recommend you guys on the right side, you set your filter to always be status all unresolved. And then where's the other one here? Resolved at any time. And then created, I believe there's, where is it at? Anytime. So we went created anytime, closed at any time. Actually, we don't need closed, do we? I don't know if we could take that off. Resolved at any time, and then we want the status to be all unresolved. Hit apply. So now your screen will only show the emails that you haven't addressed. Even if you click on an email and go back, it's not technically addressed, meaning you didn't close it or you didn't reply. So it's considered unresolved. So we're going to click here, and here's our confirmation to Gmail. So let's click that and then confirm. Okay, so now it's saying emails sent here. We'll now forward over to here. We're going to test this with my other email address in a second here. All right, so that was pretty much it. And then after you're done, hit close. And now it says we have no tickets. And there's also an app for this so that you guys can see every time somebody emails you using your customer support email. You guys can see notifications here, not just Gmail notifications, but Freshdesk notifications. Very important because you can separate customer support from people or notifications that you would just normally get on Gmail. All right, so that's how you set up your Gmail. Very simple, actually. It's way more simple than I expected. And that is how you set up your Freshdesk. I'll see if Freshdesk has an affiliate link. I'm not sure if they do or don't, but if they do, I'll leave that link below. Okay, so we've done a lot today. Just to recap, we've created a profile picture using ChatGPT AI, converting ourselves into an AI character. Then we went over to ManyChat and we created an entire automation that sends people free beats and collects their customer data in a safe way, fun way, and it makes it very frictionless, where we can build up our email list and our Discord at the same exact time. Okay, so I showed you guys how to create that in ManyChat. And I showed you guys, here's the step I forgot to say in ManyChat actually. Once you guys export your PSIDs, I showed you guys how to store the information and collect your data on Google Sheets. And I showed you guys how to store your information in your Google Drive when it comes to your customer database of PSIDs, which are used for Facebook ads later down the line. And basically, it's not their email address. It's a number given to a user on a Facebook account. And then how to store your email lists. I showed you guys how to import your email list into an email service provider like Flowdesk, which has a simple flat fee, $35 a month. I do have an affiliate link for this. I'll leave that link below. And then what else did we go over? And then I showed you guys how to create a customer support portal inside of what's called Freshdesk, where you can separate people's just trying to talk to you versus their actual customer needs. And that's what most people don't have in the beat selling business or the creative side of business. So if you followed all these steps, you are 100 times beyond anybody in your field. I don't care how many beats they've sold. Most people at the top of the charts have no idea what these systems are. They don't understand the side of the business because, again, nobody shows them because nobody knows what they don't know about this stuff. So this is completely free. All I ask you guys is to smash the like button, share it with your best friends as far as people you trust with this information. And that's all I ask, and subscribe if you're new. Okay, nextly, we went over Google Sheets. Okay, customer support. I feel like I'm missing. Oh, on ManyChat, we need to go back to where it says contacts, because if you let this slip, they will charge you more and more a month. So I think you can go up to, what's the billing cycle? I forgot. Maybe like 500 contacts for the first billing tier. Basically, what you want to do every 3 days, or every day, or every week, or whatever, is go to your contacts tab, click all, go to bulk actions, export the PSIDs like I showed you guys earlier, stash those in a Google Drive folder. Okay. And then you want to go to where it says bulk actions, and you want to delete the contacts, because you don't want to be charged for people just DMing you. And that's what this program will do. They will charge you for simply people DMing you. Anytime somebody DMs you, it adds them as a contact. So basically, if you have 1,000 DMs, just because people are messaging you, this thing could charge you $20,000, $30,000 a month. So don't let it do that. Okay, hit delete, and now it will get rid of all those contacts or people who have interacted with your automations over time. Okay, so we're not touching anything about the live chat. We're not doing any of this other stuff in ManyChat. We're only on the automations tab that I showed you guys here. So I think, let me see how long this video has been going. This video has been about an hour, it feels like. So I'm debating if I want to All right, so let's go back to the drawing board, the strategy board. So far, we've connected Instagram with our email list. Okay, we've only done one of the many things we need to do. Now, currently, we can't connect YouTube to the email list in the same exact way because, again, in the settings of ManyChat, the only channels we have are Instagram. TikTok is for only people out of the US currently, so we don't have that either. WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, SMS, email, and Telegram. We don't have any of these set up. So the only channel we have to grow our email list is Instagram, which means we need to create short form content. And I'll go over that in the next video. But going back to the drawing board, this is the only way we can funnel people to the next step. This is why a lot of people have disorganized businesses, is because they're sending people to like 1,000 different places. They have 1,000 different, most people, let's put it this way, they will build businesses that send their YouTube people to Instagram, and then the Instagram people to their, I'll say Discord isn't on this list, but let's just say their Discord. Okay, so Instagram, then they'll try to hit ads or something like this. Okay, that might be their strategy. Send people off your YouTube to your Instagram where you run ads to retarget the people. That's most people's strategy. What I'm showing you guys is how to build an everlasting strategy. So you send people off of Instagram, in this case, to your email list. Now we, in the future, which I will show you, we have to now run the folks over from YouTube to the email list, because the email list is the only asset you own on the internet. Like I said, you can't take your YouTube following and move it to Instagram. You cannot take your TikTok following and move it to Twitter. You can take your email list and go to a different email service provider. I've done it twice. Okay, I've taken my MailChimp audience over to Klaviyo, and then from Klaviyo, I've moved over to ActiveCampaign. Actually, I've done it 3 times. And then from ActiveCampaign to a private training website, and then from the training website to we have multiple ones now. And I've messed with Flowdesk as well. So that is probably 4 or 5 times I've moved my email list. Okay, so that is the only asset you control on the internet, is your contact list, your email list, and your text list. I don't text market often, so email list is the only asset you own. You don't own your YouTube, you don't own Instagram, you don't own TikTok, you don't own anything. And that's very important for when you go to sell stuff. Okay, so now we know we need to connect our YouTube to our email list. How do we get people from TikTok to our email list? How do we get people from Twitter? And here's where there may be a built-in mechanism to automate this stuff, but most of the time we have to use what's called call to actions to tell people to go to our specific page where we collect their email list. So the only thing we did not create today is an email page or website that simply collects people's email address. Currently, we have done this very stealthily through ManyChat, Instagram DMs, but we have not done this for content on other platforms. So that's what we're going to have to build, is this next step of how to get people over to our email list from Twitter, from YouTube, from TikTok, without the algorithm punishing us for sending people in traffic off of the websites or the apps, because that's what they will do, is punish your channel every time you send traffic off the website, because their job is to keep people there. So anytime you send people away, it's like they're not going to help you do that. And that's why the Instagram thing is so stealthful. If you guys watch an interview with the CEO of Instagram, he actually talks about one of the signals for, pushing content is actually messaging and sharing. Okay, so we have set up the perfect thing for Instagram to give it a good signal to actually push our content even further. Okay. And if you're the owner of Instagram, you go, okay, obvious. You just don't want people spamming links in their content and spamming it in everywhere. So you just want to keep the stuff in the DM where they could send however many links they want. So it makes sense. Okay. And then, so Threads, same deal here. So since there's no direct integration, we have to create what's called an email opt-in page to collect people's email and their SMS information. So this, I have to decide of a way to do it. Again, I'm assuming you guys have nothing. And so far our expenses are $15 a month, pending on if we keep ManyChat, and $35 a month if we end up to use Flowdesk, which I have an affiliate link below. So it's 50% off your first year, I believe. So that's whatever that is, $15 a month, or whatever the math is per month on Flowdesk. So in total, we're at about $30 a month run rate. So your burn rate is $30 a month, which is nothing. Now, you can do the same stuff outside of collecting emails on Google Sheets for free on ManyChat. You don't need the paid ManyChat to do that. You could actually just have people be sent free stuff over the DM. The only issue is you can't collect the data or the emails in that case. Also, too, there's some restrictions about like what they can comment. They can't just comment specific words. I think it's anytime they comment. There's different rules for the trial version. So the number one rule in business is to make the workflow as easy as possible. So far we have social media accounts, all of these accounts. The issue is they're not connected to the email capture just yet. Nextly, we have connected our email over to our customer support. So now we can manage all of the people who email us. One thing I will say is if we go to Flowdesk, I think it does it by default, there should be some kind of setting. Let's go to email setup here. Okay, so it says the from email. Now, again, when you send thousands of emails, you're not going to be sending them from Gmail. It will flag Gmail because you're getting too many emails over time. I've been flagged many times because people sent in thousands of loops in a matter of like 4 hours. And Gmail was like, this is too much. Okay, so over time, you guys will need to buy, again, your custom email address from Google Workspace. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, just don't think you can get away with sending thousands of emails over your Gmail. It's not going to happen. Which tab was I at? Also, I'd recommend this thing called LastPass as a Google Chrome extension. Basically, you could share your passwords without people even seeing your password for people who run agencies. I'm thinking of building an agency for you guys, but this is where basically you don't have to memorize your passwords. It will just log you in. You don't have to memorize a bunch of passwords. So get LastPass. I think that's like $30 a year or something like that. What else is there to show you guys? So where was I at? Okay, we're under Flowdesk. Now in Flowdesk, remember the from email, this will be visible to the people you send emails to. And over time, I recommend you guys buy your info at whatever your website is.com because again, you don't want to send a lot of emails from or to Gmail. It will trigger the algorithm to stop you. Okay, so boom. Okay, so that's where you would change that. And if you ever wanted to change your send, that's where you would do it. Okay, that was my point there. Now, what else is there to cover? So we have our social media covered. We got that. We have the email opt-in, at least for Instagram. And then we have anytime people reply to those emails that we broadcast from Flowdesk, it will go back to and be imported into our Freshdesk system here. Okay, so we have we have anytime we publish content, we have the automation of that. And then we have the customer support about that. At least we have the base system set up. Now, one more thing I'll show you guys is, now this video is going to be so long. I'm going to show you guys the system that anytime you have people join your email list, you want to send out. So let's go to Flowdesk, click on Flowdesk. So we're going to go to where it's called workflows. This is how you automate your emails over time. Let's click where it says new workflow, go to start from scratch. And let's just call this Instagram opt-in or something like that. Now remember, Instagram does not automatically get sent to Flowdesk. We have to manually import this Google Sheet by downloading what's called the CSV. Okay, the CSV file is a common file used in all of like the business apps where you store and upload your data to different platforms. So here we're going to go inside of Flowdesk. We're going to add a trigger. That trigger is that the subscriber must be a part of the Instagram contacts. And we want to send them a very specific set of emails similar to ManyChat, but this time we're doing it with emails. So let's just send them a welcome email. Let's click the plus button, hit email, hit create new email, start from scratch. Now the name of the email will be the subject line. So you got to be careful here. So let's say your free downloads, hit save. And then we're going to get rid of the logo. We don't need a logo. We don't need this top banner thing. We don't need this button here. And we don't need this bumper here. So let's double click in here. Hit Control A, say, hey, make sure you turn off italics or the italicized feature. I don't know how to turn that off. There we go. Hey, and then at their first name. So put at and then first name. This will pull the first name data from the actual database. So you don't have to type in everybody's first name. And if it doesn't have the first name, you can just say friend, comma, here are your free downloads as promised. Now this will send depending on when you guys bring in that email information into Flowdesk. So this could send at a random time to them. There's no set time here. Okay, and then here we're just going to say click here to access your free downloads. Now we're going to go back to Google Drive, go to our drive, find the free downloads folder, click the drop down. Make sure when you share that you have this turned to anyone with link. Hit copy link. We're going to go over to Flowdesk, highlight this. Now I wish Flowdesk made this simpler, but if you double click, go to where it says link, paste it. And then we're going to select add action. Okay, we're going to click here. We're going to add to another segment. Now we need to measure who's actually active. So I think we can do it from here. So let's type in a segment called active, create active. So this means anybody who clicks that link will be marked with another tag called active. You want to separate people who actually open the emails from people who don't, so that you understand, even if you collect 100,000 emails, there might be 20,000 active people. So click here. Switch this to a blue color, I'd recommend, and then put an underline underneath to make it very clear that they're going to download to click there. Now it's kind of awkward how you go to the next line here, but you have to kind of X out of here, double enter, and see how it's still underlined. So I don't know how to exit that. So you have to type and then backslash, and that didn't even work. So let's do this. Let's copy this, paste so that it starts from scratch. So again, I don't know how to undo whatever this is. How to remove formatting, I'm not sure. This is kind of glitchy. I don't know how to do that. I don't know. Just start from here, and then we'll delete that. So again, that part is kind of weird. Thank you, and then sign off your name. In this case, I'm Game. And then my website will soon be GameKingC.com. But for now, we can leave it blank. But that's where I would put my website name. Here, you have to set up in your settings the brand address. Okay, and then you have to set up your social media inside of Flowdesk. But for now, let's just turn that off and turn off the address for now. Oh yeah, I forgot you're not allowed to remove that. So you guys do need, when you have an email list, I forgot, you need a public address people can actually see on their email. Forgot about that. So now basically anytime they're imported into as an Instagram contact, they're sent this email that says free downloads. Okay, we're going to hit publish. Very simple. That will automate over time. Now you can make it more complex over time, but for now we're just going to keep it as that. Okay, so that's how you create a funnel. So just to recap, we're going to target Instagram currently. So anytime people watch our reels and our shorts on Instagram, they comment the word beat, they're sent a DM. The DM collects their emails and their SMS. From there, they're imported into our email system. And then we can send them emails over time. The first email they get is that free download email. And then also too, if they reply to any of those emails, it goes to our customer support. Okay, so that is how this system works. We didn't get into Discord. We didn't get into a lot of this other stuff just yet. So the next video, I think we'll focus on more creative stuff because this was more administrative, technical stuff. So in the next video here, we're going to talk about how to create your shorts, how to create content, not just beat videos, how to what else do we have to do? How to form your emails to send out. What emails do you even draft to send people? Things like that. I think that'll be a good video for the next video here. Let me just double check, make sure I got everything. And then we'll go over how to get people to convert from YouTube over to your email list. And then Instagram. Okay, we did everything. Cool. All right, guys. So thank you for being patient. This video is what, an hour and a half? So again, only the dedicated are going to go this far, but I promise you guys to show you every single step. But this is literally every single step. People will charge you hundreds of thousands of dollars to do for you and multiple clients. Nobody's going to give this away for free because they either don't know how to do it or they just are not going to tell you guys at all. So if you learned something, if you gained some knowledge today, all I ask is for you to smash that like button, share with a friend, a close friend, and subscribe if you're new. All right, guys, peace.